Hold on. Hold for. Can't write this stuff. Check 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here we go. This is Stranger Than Fiction, a movie that is a fictional story based on a true story about a fake person trying to be. What? Stranger Than Fiction, Stranger Than the Stranger by Orson Welles, Stranger Than Bob Costas retiring from NBC, Stranger Than Stranger Things. This is Stranger Than Fiction. Can Will Ferrell act in a dramedy? We'll find out after you watch the film and I review it. I'm going to review it right now. I hope you've seen this film because, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about things that will spoil the movie if you have not seen it. First of all, I don't know why I've avoided watching this film for many years. It came out in 2006. This is the last day of April in 2019. I just watched it. Time to review what I've seen. This film is very interesting. I like the idea that it presents a narrator narrating a character in the film played by Will Ferrell. His life is dictated by an author. She is writing a story and he is the main character. It's very interesting. I would say this is one of the smartest movies I've ever seen. There's things I don't like about the film either. Possible plot holes. Spoiler alert. Okay. So Will Ferrell, his character, originally dies at the end of the film. He dies based on what the writer Emma Thompson, actress, writes about him. She gets hit by a bus and is supposed to die by saving a kid. But she changes the ending because she meets the character she's writing about, Will Ferrell, in real life. She meets him and she's like, well, he wasn't, the person I was writing about wasn't aware of his death, but now he is aware of his death, so he shouldn't die that way. Well, that brings up an interesting point. So does your book that you've written have also, are you also explaining about yourself, the writer, meeting the fictional character that you wrote? Is that story in the book or is it not in the book? Because if people read the book, how will they know that Will Ferrell met Emma Thompson, the writer, unless she writes it in the book? And that's like breaking a fourth wall, right? I mean, you can do that in a book, but I don't know if she does that. And wouldn't this story be a biography, not a fictional story, if indeed Will Ferrell was really the character, Harold Crick? Would he? I think they could have gone deeper in this film. I think they could have gone even weirder with the idea that his life is just happens based on what she writes. There's a lot of comedy in the film. I like the idea that he's trying to figure out whether or not he's in a comedy or a drama. Also have to note, cliff note at least, that the professor, Dustin Hoffman, English professor that Will Ferrell speaks to, I think his character is very funny. Just the way he acts. There's a scene where he's like, get out of my office, get out of here, you're crazy. And he mentions he says one of the dialogue, he says the narration that he remembers. What is it? It's like little did he know that triggers a reaction from Dustin Hoffman. He's like, oh, I did a whole class on that. And it was very funny. That was a very funny moment. that's when Dustin Hoffman decided, I want to, continue to see this crazy man. Maybe he's got something. We'll figure it out. It's hilarious. It is really funny. There's also the love interest story in it is kind of cheesy, kind of seems unreal, but you could also say it seems unreal because it was written by the author, and maybe in her book that scene plays out unrealistically. So this movie you could say things about it are unreal, but that's because she's writing the story herself. So that's why it is the way it is. So in some ways you cannot critique this film because it's actually a book, which is I think a clever way of making a movie. It's pretty much saying like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's weird. It's a weird movie, but it's fun to watch. It's pretty much about kindness and the little moments in life, and it's as if it's saying that you can be the author of it's not really saying you can be the author of your own life. It's saying that the little moments matter in life, and that you don't have to live rigid steps. You can be more outgoing. You can take more risks, and it makes your life story more colorful, more interesting. This movie came out in 2006. Facebook was just beginning. Twitter was, a child. Social media was at its start. It's 2019 as of today, if you were hearing this. And I think it also fits with the social media thing where people are more interested in a person's life if they can read about it and if they can see pictures, more so than the actual person standing in front of you saying, hey, you're writing a book about me. They're like, well, I like to read the story behind the page, not face to face with you, sir. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it a little too much, but I appreciated that. Time for a score for this film. Oh, this is hard. I don't know. Part of me wants to give this a high score because it was so interesting and unique. And not many movies are like this, but part of me wants to give it a low score because there's a lot of small plot holes that aren't addressed. But those plot holes don't matter because it's a book written by somebody. And this movie was written by somebody. So that's going to happen. It's not a documentary, which it would be hilarious if it actually was it would be even more, it would be 10 times as funny if they shot this as a documentary. And that would kind of drive the point a little bit more. Just the documentary style, the way the shots were and everything. Maybe they'll do that for a sequel. I don't know. Maybe another movie will be like that. Who knows? But I give this a solid 8.9 out of 10. 8.9 out of 10. It's got some flaws, but the idea of the movie is very fascinating. The acting is well played. Will Ferrell, I'm sorry, man. You're funny. Even in the dramatic scenes, you're still hilarious, but you did a good job in this film. Emma Thomas was the best actress in this film. Dustin Hoffman was hilarious. The Sonic guys are in the background. That was nice. That was a little treat to see them. Let me know what you think about this film. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Subscribe, like, dislike, comment. Thank you. Good night. And I'll see you next month.